one person that actually went live every day, kind of like we're doing for over a year. We're catching up to you, baby. We're catching up to you. How y'all doing this morning? Let me get this camera straight. Hope everybody had a fantastic evening. I know I did. Hope everybody, didn't drink too much if you did go out last night. Didn't eat too much. Didn't spend too much, because Fridays do that. Trump, Elon Musk, friends with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell? Told you guys we was gonna find that picture, right? Let's go. It's almost time to get into it. Let me fix my tie. We've got the camera straight. Me. Oh, that was terrible. Never gonna try to hit that high note again. But y'all ready? I know I am. Bling, bling, bling. I'm ready to go. Bling, bling, bling. It's time to start the show. Bling, bling, bling. It's time to get it, yo. Bling, bling, bling. I hope you're ready, yo, 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 yo. 6 o'clock. I'm ready to rock. Ready to make it pop. Come on, homie, pop, pop, pop. Y'all want to try? Couple of days in a row, you actually did it for them. Okay, one more time. Bling. I think we're gonna get a new watch if he keep on doing this, trying to embarrass somebody before the show starts. That's your warning, all right? If you don't start, one more time. Yeah. And y'all know why I'm doing this. I'm so happy to be here today. We are knocking them out and taking them out the park, boy. But check this out. To everybody that don't like us, hated and love it, the underdogs on top. And I'm going to shine, homie, until my heart stop. Hey, yo, envy me. I'm Rap's MVP, and I ain't going nowhere, so y'all can get to know me, 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 get to know me. Y'all know why I'm open, right? Cause if pump that beat. It's Saturday the 16th. That's right, y'all. 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this here's our bottom line, where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that and that. Where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that. Just got me lit. Yo, yes, right, y'all. Saturday the 16th. That's right, August, halfway through the month. Can y'all believe we already in the month of August? We've been doing our thing over here. We've been keeping it going. Let's see who's in the building. I did my intro. Who we got up in the building right now? That's right, we see Casey Ramos in the building. What's up, Casey? How you doing? I see Liberty and Justice up in here. Jeffrey, how you doing, my brother? I saw you up in here early. Yeah, you was not playing. You and Mark. How y'all doing this morning? Cat, Dad, how you doing? Love to see you in the morning. Hope everybody had a fantastic Friday. I know I did. I feel very energetic. Did my push-ups this morning. Had a nice amount of water. Hit that shower. Put on a clean suit, and guess what? It's time to go. Our bottom line, y'all. I hope y'all had a great day. Well, starting off this morning, because guess what? You could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. We've got a fantastic show lined up. Yes, I got a lot of Epstein. I got a few of some new information, as well as a bit of digging in the crates, because we want to actually see what she was actually charged with. Who do you mean she? Ghislaine Maxwell. They're talking about her and they're saying all of this stuff, but how about we get a little bit of excerpts from the beginning of the trial and when she actually was charged and what her charges are, as well as some information from some people that do not want her to be freed, that actually were the prosecutor on her case. Oh yeah, that's right, we did some digging. It's time to get back to what we've been doing. That's right, it's your boy Bugatti NYC. It's Saturday. I'm happy to be alive. How about that? How about that? I had all types of problems last week, a couple of months ago, computer screen crashing, but look at that. Keep on moving forward and what? problems present opportunities, and we kept it moving and grooving, and we got through it. Okay, guys, you know what I'm ready to do, right? Got the full clip, and let's get into these titles. Excuse me. We've got here Trump, Elon Musk, friend with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I told you guys I started searching for this photo a long time ago, and I just couldn't find it for a few days. And then I just Googled her name, and then it came up. And then guess what? A lot of other people's names came up too, because as you might know, Ghislaine Maxwell was the vessel that joined a lot of powerful people as well as children to Jeffrey Epstein. We're going to keep on moving forward, you guys. What else do I have here this morning? I was blown away. The FBI director discusses his feelings on finding burn bags. That's right. Kash Patel said that he found several burn bags. Burn bags are FBI file bags with paperwork inside of them that are supposed to be determined to do what? To get burned. But guess what? They didn't get burned. Kash found the information, and he's going to tell us what's in the information that he found. Last but not least, we've got 4 West Memphis police officers that have been fired for sexual misconduct while on duty. Oh yeah, we getting good with it. That's right. I said sexual misconduct while they were on duty. And without any further ado, I like to get into the first clip that we have here, because of course, yes, we have our president that's basically speaking with Putin about where they're at right now as far as the agreement, what happened, were they able to get any trades done, anything? Not really, guys. I hate to bust your bubble, but no, let's get into it. And again, let me know where you're chiming in from. I'd like to know what time it is, because we love to know what time it is there. Someone said it was 4 o'clock over somewhere just now. It's 6 o'clock here in New York. We just love that. Also, I got 5 on it. I'm going to stack 5 in the deck so you guys can see 5 videos, and then I'll come to the comments, and then I'll see what you guys are talking about. Let's try to stay on point. And here we go without any further ado. Let's get it.
We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. I've always had a fantastic relationship with President Putin, with Vladimir. We had many tough meetings, good meetings. We were interfered with by the Russia hoax. It made it a little bit tougher to deal with, but he understood it. I think he's probably seen things like that during the course of his career. He's seen it all, but we had to put up with the Russia hoax. He knew it was a hoax, and I knew it was a hoax, but what was done was very criminal. But it made it harder for us to deal as a country in terms of the business and all of the things that we'd like to have dealt with. But we'll have a good chance when this is over. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there, but we have a very good chance of getting there. I would like to thank President Putin and his entire team, whose faces, who I know in many cases, otherwise, other than that, whose faces I get to see all the time in the newspapers. You're almost as famous as the boss, but especially this one right over here.
Watch this.
But we had some good meetings over the years, right? Good, productive meetings over the years, and we hope to have that in the future. But let's do the most productive one right now. We're going to stop really 5, 6, 7,000, thousands of people a week from being killed, and President Putin wants to see that as much as I do. So, again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon.
I don't think anything came out of that meeting, to be honest with you, and that's just me being me and me being real. Also, last but not least, good morning to Rebecca Lon Yen Bueno chiming in from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Girl, you think I don't see you? Stop trying to sneak up in here like I don't see you. Let's go. Let's keep on moving right now. We got to go over to Iran because the president is in a very difficult situation. They're basically saying they have no water left. Their entire water supply in Iran is set to expire in September. This is crazy.
President just admitted Tehran is in big trouble as the city has no fresh water. Masoud Pezeshkian warned that without immediate help, the capital's dams will be empty by September. This comes as Iran faces its worst drought in 60 years, with rainfall down 45%.
Wow.
The crisis exposes decades of regime mismanagement that turned a natural drought into a national catastrophe. President Pezeshkian told state media the situation is serious and authorities are working round the clock to transfer water from other dams. But he admitted these emergency measures may not be enough. Tehran's dam reserves sit at just 42% of capacity nationwide. Only 23.56 billion cubic meters entered dams this water year, down 42% from last year. The numbers reveal how bad things really are. Iran closed government offices across 16 provinces to conserve power during a 50-degree-Celsius heat wave. Rolling blackouts disrupted water pumping stations, making the shortage even worse. Tehran Water Company CEO Mohammad Taqi Hossein-Zadeh confirmed the capital's reserves would last until late September at current consumption rates. He urged citizens to cut water use by at least 20%.
How is that possible when it's hot out there and they thirsty and they gotta eat and move and eat and feed their families and stuff? Oh boy, that is terrible. Guess what? We need to pray for them. Let there be rain, Lord. Let these people get some water, because I don't think anyone in our God's green earth deserves to go through any tragic events like that. We ask this in Jesus' name. Early this Saturday morning, amen. We're going to keep on moving forward, because basically Kash Patel says that he was blown away about what I just talked to you guys about finding those burn bags. We starting off early. I want to see what he was talking about with these burn bags. What's up with these burn bags, man? What is a burn bag in the first place? Let's let Hannity tell us.
7 months for the Trump administration, but for now, it has been an action-packed 7 months for the Trump administration, but for everything that you see and hear on the news, there is so much more happening behind the scenes. At the FBI, the director, Kash Patel, is working around the clock with Dan Bongino and others and other agents. Not only are they dealing with the crime crisis left behind by Joe Biden and unvetted illegals, 12 to 20 million of them, but also peeling back the layers of what has been what we have reported as a deeply politicized, weaponized federal bureaucracy.
Thank you.
In other words, that this is long-standing. If it is in fact a grand conspiracy, the statute of limitations would be eliminated. Is that what the investigation is about?
Well, Sean, what we're doing is building.
It is examined in this case by the Attorney General Pam Bondi, and but there's been a lot of talk and a lot written about the investigation into a grand conspiracy. To the extent possible, what can you tell us about that? In other words, that this is long-standing. If it is in fact a grand conspiracy, the statute of limitations would be eliminated. Is that what the investigation is about?
Wow, we can eliminate.
Well, Sean, what we're doing is building a case for the American public under the Truth and Transparency and Accountability Initiative. And what I mean by that is AG Bondi brilliantly highlighted our partners, Director Ratcliffe at the CIA and Director Gabbard over at the DNI. We are working with them because the documents that would facilitate an investigation of this magnitude don't just rest at the FBI and DOJ. They're throughout the intelligence community. And we, the Russiagate guys like Johnny Ratcliffe and myself who investigated this and exposed this, are trying to expose documentation that we've known existed for years. At the same time, we're finding new material. So the best approach is to release this information with them and also go to our colleagues in Congress who have an oversight function on the judiciary committees and oversight committees and demand from us information and documentation that we can publicize. Things like the Durham Annex, which we've known have existed this entire time, but were classified for political reasons. We are educating the American public as we build through this transparency initiative. And where the investigation goes, I can assure you of this. We will max accountability for the American public. We delivered before when we ran the Russiagate investigation. I now happen to be President Trump's choice for FBI director, and I'm honored to lead that charge with our great partners in Johnny Ratcliffe and our great Attorney General and the prosecutors they have over there who are just as committed to justice as everyone should be, blindly so. We are going to de-weaponize the FBI and get its credibility back to the American people by delivering the accountability they need, by showing them what we're doing every step of the way. That has never been done before.
Restoring the FBI to its former greatness. That would be the words I would use to describe what needs to be done, and I hope can be done. If we look at the declassified materials, for example, that Tulsi Gabbard released, you know, we already had an intelligence assessment as on the question of whether or not Donald Trump colluded with Vladimir Putin. Here I am in Alaska. They will have a summit tomorrow. And in fact, the conclusion of senior career intelligence officials was it did not happen. There's no evidence at all that it happened. Then the report suggests that box on the scales of elections was weaponization from 2020 to 2024 designed to bloody up Trump. In other words, do we have 3 presidential elections, potentially, that cinder blocks were put on the scales of the election so the results would come out the way one team wanted it to come out?
All right, that's enough. I'm sorry. I can't go no more because I know how we rock over here. That was too much. Whoa. Let's get to something else. Oh, come on. Thank you guys for hanging in there. I'm trying to get you guys as much information as possible. Let's get on over here to this immigration policy that reveals outstanding new numbers and reports from who else but Christy Nome. Let's get on over here, see what Christy got to say for us. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday morning. We got some information right now on the immigration policy. Come on, let's go.
Major milestone of President Trump's immigration crackdown. The DHS Secretary Kristi Noem posting to X that 1.6 million illegal immigrants have left the United States in less than 200 days. Secretary Noem joins us now from South Dakota. Secretary, good of you to be with us. We really appreciate it. I want to get into those numbers in just a second. But first of all, there's some breaking news that came up in the president's appearance in the Oval Office. And that is that a memo, an executive order has gone out with the Metropolitan Police Department here in Washington, D.C., that says that effective immediately, if police during something like a routine traffic stop happen to come across the immigration status of a person, they're now allowed to share that information with federal officials. D.C. is not an official sanctuary city, but how did this come about? Was this pressure from DHS or from the president?
I believe it was, and I think it's not pressure necessarily from the president or from the media, but probably from their citizens that live in D.C. and understand the jeopardy that they have to, live with every single day. So the people have obviously spoken that they're tired of living with this crime, and the fact that they'll share that information with their ICE officers now is phenomenal. That's a game changer. That means that as soon as they encounter somebody who's committing a crime, they will share that with ICE, and we'll be able to get those illegal criminals out of this country, and we'll make America safer. So that's what we need New York City to do. We need LA to do that. We need Chicago to do that. We need all these other leaders to grow up and start sharing this information on these criminals that shouldn't be in our country in the first place and send them back home to.
Y'all hear it? Y'all know what's going on right now, right? And that silver, he got black bracelets, so we're gonna change the song for a minute. Black bracelets, his are one size fits all for everybody. I know y'all tight with me right now. Y'all like, yo, why you do that? Don't do that.
Face the consequences for their crimes. But
Secretary,
one thing that John, Aisha, that I want to talk about today is these incredible numbers that you just put at the top of this hit, is that we have 1.6 illegal immigrants that have left this country voluntarily. And I think these numbers just show exactly the genius of Donald J. Trump. The brilliant mind that he has, that when he was elected in November, he knew he had to make America safe again. And he said, Christy, if you're going to be my Homeland Security Secretary, we're going to follow the law. You're going to do commercials. You're going to tell the world that no longer will we tolerate people being in our country illegally and that they need to go home. And he messaged it strong. There were consequences if you broke the law and you were a criminal in this country and you needed to leave. And overwhelmingly, the world got the message. They're leaving on their own, which is the best thing for American citizens. Not only did 1.6 million people leave the United States that shouldn't be here, but also 2.5 million Americans became employed in the.
And then guess what Donald Trump also didn't tell you? He didn't tell you about the ramifications. Like last week when you was on going down to South Park, about to have myself a time, going down to South Park, about to see some friends of mine. Brand new places, brand new faces. Y'all see when they made her face melt? Going down the valley. They had Christy on South Park last week talking about makeup. Y'all saw that, right? That was crazy. Let's keep on going. Gavin Newsom. I ain't gonna call him what y'all want me to call him. Y'all can put it in the comments if you want to. Come on, y'all. Get up. It's Saturday morning. Wake up. Gavin Newsom. Gavin knew what? Come on. Melts down after the Border Patrol rains on his parade. And doom, 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 doom. You heard that music coming? Doom, doom, doom. What if they was to play that music as they was coming down the street? Oh my God, that would be crazy. Yes, Gavin Newsom was having a rally against Trump, whatever he was doing. And next thing you know, they heard that music coming out of nowhere. Doom, 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 doom. And they came and arrested people and rained
Governor
on his
Gavin
parade.
Newsom absolutely melting down after Border Patrol agents made an arrest outside his anti-Trump rally in Los Angeles yesterday.
Chanley Painter joins us with the details. Good morning,
Hey,
Chanley.
good morning, Lawrence, Ansley, and Brian. So Governor Newsom's not only railed against Trump at yesterday's rally, he spent significant time announcing his plans to counter Texas lawmakers' redistricting plan. But the rally was met with unexpected visitors outside. More than a dozen armed and masked Border Patrol agents could be seen. At one point, Border Patrol agents were seen leading away a man in handcuffs, igniting fury within California leadership.
I think it's pretty sick and pathetic. And it just said everything you need to know, the setting that we're under.
Don't cry,
That
right?
they chose the time, manner, and place to send their district director outside right when we're about to have this press conference. Said everything you know about Donald Trump's America. Said everything you know about the authoritarian tendencies of the President of the United States.
And Governor Newsom firing off this Trump-style tweet saying, quote, Donald is finished. He is no longer, quote, hot. First the hands, so tiny, and now me, Gavin C. Newsom, have taken away his step. Many are saying he can't even do the big stairs on Air Force One anymore. Uses the little baby stairs now. Sad. Well, AG Bondi had this warning to lawmakers who say they will not comply with immigration enforcement.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to comply. They're not going to comply. We got to keep on moving, y'all. We got to keep on moving. That's a whole nother story. I'm gonna see what you guys got to say because I owe you 2 more. I know I got 5 on it. That was 3, and now I got 2 more for you, and one that you probably want to know about. We're going to update you guys on a little bit of information here. We've got a survivor from the Jeffrey Epstein saga, and she's going to speak out a little bit about the push for transparency on the files. Everybody's talking about the files themselves, but basically they're not really getting to the victims and the witnesses and getting back to that part of it. I like to go back and find information, but this was only about 3 days ago. I think that you guys would be interested in this.
Issued a scathing rebuke of the Trump administration's efforts to unseal grand jury transcripts in the Ghislaine Maxwell sex trafficking case. The Justice Department had been pushing for the release of the court materials as Trump's own supporters have criticized the DOJ for not releasing its files on Jeffrey Epstein. The judge, however, making clear he's keeping those traditionally secret transcripts under wraps, not because they're too sensitive, but because they don't reveal anything new. Quote, the government's entire premise that the Maxwell grand jury materials would bring to light meaningful new information about Epstein and Maxwell's crimes, or the government's investigation into them, is demonstrably false. Judge Paul Engelmeyer added this, quote, a member of the public appreciating that the Maxwell grand jury materials do not contribute anything to public knowledge might conclude that the government's motion for their unsealing was aimed not at transparency, but at diversion, aimed not at full disclosure, but at the illusion of such.
Okay,
Let's get straight to our legal and political sources. Ellie Honig, former federal
No. We got to clear up some of that mumbo jumbo that you just said right there, because half the people are like, huh? Let's get to the origination of this, like I said, to the Southern District of New York. You may not know what Ghislaine Maxwell did to get arrested, so let's go to her original arrest announcements as a federal prosecutor announces her indictments, because this is going to give you guys an idea, because all they're talking about, oh, she's arrested, she got 20 years. What does she actually do? We even also have some information directly from that prosecutor that was basically talking directly about her crimes. That's going to make you think twice about letting her get to that point where she is now in a minimum security prison. I think she needs to go back. Like I said, she needs to go. She's a person that, to me, should be in the maximum security prison.
Earlier case that we brought against Jeffrey Epstein. As alleged, starting in 1994 until at least 1997, Maxwell had a personal and professional relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
What'd she do? Yeah, photo op. This is when they stacked the deck on her the day she got arrested. All the charges: facilitating abuse of underage girls to Jeffrey Epstein, conducting in New York State, London, and New Mexico. Whole bunch of stuff.
Maxwell was among Epstein's closest associates and helped him exploit girls who were as young as 14 years old. Maxwell played a critical role in helping Epstein to identify, befriend, and groom minor victims for abuse. In some cases, Maxwell participated in the abuse herself. As alleged, Maxwell and Epstein had a method. Typically, they would befriend these young girls by asking them questions about their lives, pretending to be taking an interest in them. They would take them to the movies and treat them to shopping trips. Maxwell would encourage these young girls to accept offers from Epstein to pay for their travel and their education, making these young victims feel indebted to Jeffrey Epstein. After developing a rapport with the victims, Maxwell then tried to normalize sexual abuse with a minor victim through a process known as grooming. For example, Maxwell would discuss sexual topics with the victim and undress in front of the victim, or be present for sex acts involving the minor victims and Epstein. Maxwell's presence as an adult woman helped put the victims at ease. As Maxwell and Epstein intended, this grooming process left the minor victims susceptible to sexual abuse. That abuse included sexualized massages, during which the minor victim was fully or partially nude. These sexualized massages developed into sexual encounters, for which Maxwell, in some instances, was present and participated. Maxwell and Epstein worked together to entice these minor victims to travel to Epstein's residences, depicted on the other chart at the front of the room. His residence in New York City on the Upper East Side, as well as Palm Beach, Florida, and Santa Fe, New Mexico. Some of the acts of abuse also took place in Maxwell's residence in London, England. In addition to allegedly enabling and participating in the sexual abuse of young victims, Maxwell compounded her crimes by repeatedly lying in 2016 when she was questioned under oath. And we have charged those lies in 2 perjury counts. Maxwell lied because the truth, as alleged, was almost unspeakable. Maxwell enticed minor girls, got them to trust her, then delivered them into the trap that she and Epstein had set for them.
Okay, this is from the Washington Post. It's got about 21,000 views. That's why not many people heard about it. It streamed 5 years ago. This is called Federal Prosecutors Announce Charges Against Epstein's Confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell. It's got at least about, I would say, about 15 more minutes, 12 more minutes there of information. We already took 5. We really over our max, and we got more to go. That's why I wanted you guys to hear certain charges that she was charged for, because we're just hearing right now, oh, Ghislaine Maxwell. No. You guys need to hear these charges and what she did. Now let's go get some I can feel it information from crackhead Hunter, crackhead Biden. That's right. Y'all know how we do over here. Hey, man, you see, I think you 5-0. What you talking about? I ain't no 5-0, man. Well, if you ain't 5-0, hit this. I can feel it. That's right, y'all. I'm talking about no other than Hunter, crackhead Biden. He's right now saying F that when it comes down to shrugging his suits, talking about he's not going to respond. I mean, he's not going to apologize to the First Lady when it comes down to his remarks when he says about Melania Trump. I want you guys to get this firsthand account because I know you've been noticing that I can feel it. Crackhead Hunter Biden has been out here a lot doing interviews in his buddy's garage here. And he's had some responses to Melania's $1 billion threat if he doesn't retract his claims.
So now we're here maybe to give you the platform. To apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, that's not going to happen.
Hunter Biden crassly brushed off First Lady Melania Trump's threat to sue him for $1 billion if he doesn't retract what she is calling false and defamatory comments, linking her to late pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The former first son made the comment with a smirk on his face during an interview on the YouTube show Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan on Thursday. Hunter Biden had appeared in an interview on the same show just 1 week prior, on August 5th, where he first made the controversial claim.
I mean, Epstein introduced Melania to Trump.
Ooh.
The connections are like so wide and deep.
The next day, the First Lady's team revealed that it put the scandal-scarred former first son on notice for his statements, as seen in a legal notice obtained by Fox News Digital. Failure to comply will leave Mrs. Trump with no choice but to pursue any and all legal rights and remedies available to her to recover the overwhelming financial and reputational harm that you have caused her to suffer, the First Lady's attorney, Alejandro Brito, wrote. Hunter Biden went on to defend his past comments in the newly released interview, saying the information came from claims made by Donald Trump biographer Michael Wolff, which he cited later in the initial interview.
According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how Melania and the First Lady and the president met.
Really?
Yeah.
Epstein made the intro.
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff.
However, Melania's team seemingly foresaw such a defense, writing in the legal notice that he unjustifiably relied on Mr. Wolff's false, defamatory, disparaging, and inflammatory statements about Mrs. Trump. And
Well, I got some information for you, Melania. I'm from the hood. The hood that I'm from is Harlem, 108th between Manhattan and Central Park, 125th, 111th Street. We used to get busy on St. Nick back in the day for a long time, Melania. Let me tell you something. One thing that you cannot ever get back from a crackhead is some money, unless he coming to buy something from you. Trust me. So when it comes down to Hunter, I can feel it, Biden, he ain't got no dough for you. Forget about it. Let's keep on moving forward, y'all, to New Orleans. Because we yeah, let's go over to New Orleans real quick. Because, no. I got more. I don't know whoever wrote this right here, but we got some more of this info right here. I got to stack this deck some more. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go on over to New Orleans because y'all not going to believe this one. I think I did this on purpose because I know you guys want the Epstein stuff, but I want you to stick around for this. The mayor of New Orleans is indicted. I don't know what's going on. Brothers and sisters here in the chat, I don't know what's going on. But everything that we ever thought could possibly happen has happened. We have Biff. Yes, I'm not being disrespectful, but we are now living in Back to the Future, right? So I'm not even, whatever can be thought, can be fathomed is actually happening right now. We have a sitting mayor that's basically is under federal indictment here. Check this out.
Live outside federal court.
Yeah, that's right, Meg. We're with former Assistant U.S. Attorney Matt Coleman. And Matt, we're talking to Stephen Stock, our investigative reporter. He talked to Jordan Ginsburg shortly after the indictments were handed up and was told that it was multiple counts. We're still waiting to get the indictments in our hand, but is there any surprise there? What can we read into that little bit of information?
No surprise there. I mean, you're rarely going to have an actual indictment where it's going to be, confined to just one particular count. You'd see that in maybe a guilty plea, where there's some agreement beforehand, where there's a factual basis, a plea agreement, and a bill of information. But in an indictment that's going to be contested, you would expect to see multiple counts.
Have there been any discussions, do you think, between the Assistant U.S. Attorneys involved in this case and Cantrell's attorneys?
Would any
Nah. Ain't no way I'm gonna be on blast like that. We over here dying to hear what y'all got to say. Nope, ain't my fault either. So whoever's getting this information and these clips together for Bugatti, you need to get your act together. Okay, I'm sorry, because it was me. I made a mistake. Gotta find better audio. And thank you so much to the Mad Hatter for the $4.99 super chat. I get about $3.25 of that, and I appreciate you so much. Y'all already know YouTube is in our pockets over here. Look at this here, y'all. It's hard out here for a pimp. And when you're trying to get the money for the rent, see, that's why I don't bother y'all about no money, because I know it's real. So when it comes down to that, I don't ask you too much for no money. When it comes down to those likes, I really would appreciate the likes, because it lets more people know. How does it let more people know, Bugatti? Because what it does is, when you guys start hitting that like button, YouTube gets a notification and they say, hey, they must like what's going on over here. We want more people to go see it. And then they start pushing it out. Hey, Bugatti's on, Bugatti's on, Bugatti's on. And then more people come over here. You don't believe me? Hit that like button and watch somebody gonna pop up in the bottom down there saying, hey, what's going on over here? And that's the full circle that you've made. And you're gonna see that what I'm saying is real. I try to explain things. My dad was like that. You say, Dad, what's 1 + 1? That man will walk you around the whole block and bring you back to the front of the building. By the time you're back, you'll never want to ask him another question, but you'll understand what 1 + 1 is. Keep on moving forward, because now we got some pint-sized suspects who take a Kia. I don't want to say the word because the spinning ball might start. They took a Kia in Brooklyn, not Brooklyn, New York, and they were driving around recklessly, crashed into something, and the oldest one is probably about 12 years old. The owner of the car, she's pretty nice. You can tell that she's a mother. She has a pretty cool and fantastic attitude about the situation. I think she was more concerned about the children not getting hurt that took her car, but everybody else in New York that would have been here, man, listen, y'all know what we're gonna say, pluck them kids, they messed my car up. Pluck them kids. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I can curse on YouTube, but I don't like to curse anyway. So let's keep on going. They actually let us curse after 3 minutes now, y'all. It's a new law.
Video tonight that you have to see to believe. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Fry. 2 children joyriding in a stolen car. They even smiled for the camera, also showing off. Michelle Nix has the story.
Just when you thought you've seen it all, slam on the brakes. Because kids, young kids, have been charged with stealing a car and caught on camera driving it. And you guessed it, the car is a Kia.
A driver spots a stolen silver Kia in the area of Ridge Road and Memphis. In the driver's seat and riding as the front seat passenger, suspected baby-faced car thieves, joyriding at a single mother's expense.
I actually had come outside for work with my daughter in one arm and went to go to my car to go take her to the babysitters and go off to work, and it wasn't there.
Elissa Basil of Brooklyn, who owns the Kia, said she even kept pressing the button on her key fob, thinking maybe she parked in the wrong parking spot. But hours later, her friend texted a Ring camera notification about her car.
I had said that about 10 to 12 years old, kid in a red shirt crashed a silver Kia. I just learned that they are children. They are babies. They just need better guidance, honestly.
Yeah, the Kia found crashed and abandoned near St. Theodosius Cemetery after it was stolen around 4 in the morning on Wednesday by the pint-sized thieves.
All back windows busted out. My door handles ripped off. My rims busted. My tires busted. And whatever underside damage. It's not drivable as of now. Thankfully, they didn't crash it into a pole or didn't get injured. So I guess that is the one benefit to that.
The 2 child suspects are now facing serious charges, according to Elissa, and they include grand theft and receiving stolen property. As Brooklyn police continue the investigation, Elissa has found out the anti-theft system on her Kia apparently doesn't work, and she just hopes these children have found out
they need to change their ways before they become adults and it turns into a lifestyle at that point.
The car's owner tells me she will ask for restitution in this case because she says these young kids need to learn that things don't come cheap and they don't come easy.
Now, what's Sherry Shepherd doing on 19? No, let me keep on going, y'all. I'm just playing around. It's Saturday morning. You know how we got to do. We got to keep it popping over here. Got to keep you. Are you not entertained? Are you not? Come on, y'all. We got to keep on going. Turn up. Do your boy a favor. Double tap that screen because now I want to show you what happens as a result of kids not being taken care of, and there's no community that really is there to watch out for them. When stuff like that happens, we got to really be on point. Thank you again, Mad Hatter. You're trying to show impress. Thank you so much. If you do not watch your kids, Daddy Trump gonna backhand them and teach them. Uh-oh, y'all heard what he said, right? Now let's keep on going. Or something like this could possibly happen. Do me a favor, you guys. Every time I explain to you GTA 6, I'm talking about a video game where it's like you're in simulation and you're walking around doing certain things. You got any kind of clothes you want. You got money. They're doing all types of crazy stuff. So basically, that's what I'm basically trying to refer to. Y'all probably remember the first Grand Theft Auto, the video game on PlayStation. Nowadays, it's so much more advanced. That's why I say kids are kind of living outside in the world and they're simulating this sort of a lifestyle. Check this out. If you don't get on top of those kids, stuff like this could possibly happen. Also, do me a favor, understand this is graphic content. I know you don't have kids watching this, but please don't let them watch this. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Brazen gunman opens fire in GTA. Tuesday, March the 4th on Weston Road and St. Clair Avenue, West Toronto. You guys see the firing? Pow, pow coming out. Weston Road. Yeah. Yeah, active going on. Now this is like from the Toronto Sun. It happened, I want to say probably a few months ago. Someone definitely lost their life in that situation. Tragic event. Toronto, even though I'm not from there, hate to see stuff like that. Probably was months ago, but still, we cover every little thing that we can over here. There was no video, no oral, verbal information, but we still like to get content out to make sure that we're covering it. Toronto, sorry to hear about that. And we pray for the people who lost their lives, as well as all of the victims in this. Apologies. Amen. Keep on moving forward, you guys, because now we got to go to Pam Bondi as she issues a stern warning to people in Washington, D.C. on crime and says the days of hiding and protecting criminals is over. All right, we're going to go back over to D.C. right now. As you know, they've already taken over and federalized Washington, D.C., and she's got some words on that.
Attorney General Pam Bondi. Pam, welcome back. Good to have you back. All right, before we get to the guy, this is just breaking. This letter that you have signed and now apparently sent out. I know this has happened in our nation's capital, and I guess the police chief or the mayor or somebody there, had been telling police officers, the Metropolitan Police Department there, not to give up people that are in the country illegally. I thought we had a supremacy clause in the Constitution.
Sean, we did. D.C. will not remain a sanctuary city actively shielding criminal aliens. Will not happen. Under Donald Trump's directive, D.C. will become safe again and it will become clean again. And I think what's happening is it's a combination of an extremely divisive city council. You have liberal judges, you have no cash bail, as you said, you have juveniles running rampant over this city, and you have a Metro Police Department, they want to do their jobs. And we have been out there for the last few nights with all of our federal agencies. Sean, they have been working so hard, working together. We've made 156 arrests. 27 firearms have been seized. Child pornographic material has been seized. Over 200 fentanyl pills taken off the street. A homicide suspect with a firearm. And we are going to protect D.C. and make it safe again. But, I think the most impactful thing that's happened, despite what we've seen with these crazy protesters out there, citizens are coming out of their homes and they're going up to these law enforcement officers and they're thanking them for keeping them safe and making the streets safe again. An elderly woman walks up to law enforcement and thanks them so she can go to the market again.
Wow.
So they are seeing the impact of what our law enforcement officers are doing under Donald Trump's directive, and they're going to continue to do it. We're going to work hand in hand with state, federal, local officers, and we're going to make DC safe again.
I can't understand it. Anybody in DC in the chat, please do me a favor. Anybody in DC in the chat, I want to know if this actually is helping out there or if it's actually hindering. Let us know what's going on. Anybody from Washington, DC, we'd like to know directly from the horse's mouths. We like to get information straight from people over here. That's why I'm asking, what's going on in DC? Are you guys seeing the difference? Because a lot of people are saying that this is actually riling people up more. They're saying it's riling people up more. So I want to know what you guys are talking or feeling about that. And let's get on that topic because it's very important. The only criminals are these guys. No, it's hurting. I live in Northern VA, but yeah, arresting the homeless, I don't know about that. I put there, I don't know about that. I don't like that part myself. Batty Lynn says, good morning, Merc. A guy threw a sandwich at them and they're protesting. No, there is no way harassing. I think that they probably should have gave him like a misdemeanor and just probably let him go on his own recognizance as the guy that threw that Subway Eat Fresh. You're right about that. They probably went too far. But what they're doing right now is they're trying to make a statement. And they know that people are also trying to make statements. So at that, the origins of a situation like this, when they first set up, they're going to start to try to make a statement and they're going to be harsh on everybody. That would have happened a few weeks into this, probably wouldn't be so severe. And it already made news. So that's another reason why they did what they did. Oh, you're throwing food or dirt on the shield. Look at it that way. Let's keep on moving forward because I got this crazy situation. I think this is in Belize, if I'm not mistaken, but trust me, it's very, it's kind of crazy. A street legend, his name is Tyrone Maine, and he was basically pow-powed in broad daylight. But you know what I say? I don't know if you guys know this other slogan I say. We all know it, but it's basically if you live by the GUN, you go by the GUN. And also, I don't like hanging around those things because you never know when they're going to go off, especially depending on the people.
Gang violence has claimed another life in Belize City. This time, it's 31-year-old Tyrone Maine. Maine's name has long been tied to crime headlines. Back in 2012, he and two others were charged with killing BDF soldier James Morales. They beat the case in 2015, but a retrial followed. A witness claimed Morales was targeted for allegedly working with the police, but the judge tossed the testimony as weak and circumstantial. Maine walked free again and spoke of his relief, but now years later, his life has ended violently on the same streets that once put him in the spotlight.
The first thing comes to mind that God is good. You know, you can never ever turn a back on God. God is good. You know, 6 years of this, you know, experience is very serious. You know, got that experience to know you're fighting for your life on the line. You know, it's your life. You know, it's not play. You know, it's a job to them, but you know, it's your life to us.
3 years after the murder case that made headlines, Tyrone Maine was back in the news, this time for a high-profile home invasion. He was one of 18 people charged for the 2015 burglary at the home of Lebanese honorary consul Sarkis Abunera. Guns, liquor, and other valuables were stolen. But the most disturbing part, the diplomat's maid was raped during the break-in, and Maine was accused of that crime.
Wow.
His mother, Shelley Maine, publicly defended him, insisting her son wasn't responsible.
Tyrone have alibi witness that Tyrone was home. Rape, this is a serious offense. Rape. Tyrone and not like that. Eight dark-skinned person with mask, how you go identify Tyrone Maine? Tyrone Maine, Shaquille Maine, Ellis Maine look the same, so why they never carry my son back?
See, no matter what age or what race they, or not even, I'm not going to say race, but whatever age they are and whatever hood they from, you always got that mother out there. Not my boy. Tyrone ain't do nothing like that. She just saying it in a different accent, y'all. No, Tyrone, him not do nothing like that. Them say Edmond coming there with the hoodie on. But yeah, if Tyrone was there with him, guess what they call that? Watch your head. And now he's sitting there taking the ride. And you see him coming in, had the nerve to mush somebody as he was coming in. If that was the United States, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's another charge. Another charge. And again, if you live by the GUN and you run with people like that, that could be your outcome. Let's keep on moving, you guys. We have a clip that I would like to read from. It's concerning our very genius buddy, the genius billionaire, Elon Musk, who says he met with Epstein for a half hour at his Manhattan mansion. What I like to say is, what's my other saying? Oh, here we go. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Imagine that in your head. Your house is glass and you throwing stones at other people, right? What's going to happen when they throw those stones back? So Elon, my brethren, yeah, I'm going to use the accent from the lady prior. Elon, my brethren, because you're from Africa then, right? We have an original picture here of you with Ghislaine, and we also used it in the background for the heading. I wanted to make sure that the original was there. But also, Elon, you was talking about Trump a lot and talking about other people and what they basically did. So let's get a little bit of information from Google, where it says Elon Musk and Tallulah Riley, his then wife, reportedly met with Jeffrey Epstein at his New York residence shortly after Epstein's release from prison. Riley stated in 2020 post on X, formerly Twitter, that she and Musk had a list of appointments in New York and visited Epstein's home briefly. Musk confirmed this account to Vanity Fair, saying we did not see anything appropriate anything inappropriate at all. Apart from weird art, he tried repeatedly to get me to visit his island. I am not going to your island. Yeah, all right. I decline. No evidence suggests any prior or additional meetings between Musk and Epstein between the specific visit, right? Okay, now we go here to what we know from Newsweek. And this is Musk had some ties with Epstein, but he has never been implicated in crimes or accused of wrongdoing. I want you guys to know that. Musk has been, seen with Jeffrey Epstein, not as much as Trump. But like I said, Elon, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And we know Ghislaine is the middle girl, so stop it. If you think you're gonna make a profit, stop it. If you think you're gonna make a profit. Okay, Musk confirmed in 2019 remarks with Vanity Fair that he once visited Epstein's New York City residence. Several years ago, I was at his house in Manhattan for about 30 minutes in the middle of the afternoon with Tallulah Riley, as she was curious about meeting this strange person for a novel she was writing, he told the publication. We did not see anything inappropriate, all apart from weird art. He tried repeatedly to get me to visit his island. I declined. Tallulah was his wife at that time. She shared an account in 2020. She wrote it and was possible. He was briefly introduced to Maxwell, but in no way can you remember. Elon and I met thousands of people over the course of our relationship. There will be countless photos of Elon with people he does not know and happen to be stood next to in parties. There's much, much more here about it, a little more. Wanted you guys to know about that. But yeah, Elon, my friend, y'all picture with the girl there, man. And you can Google it. All you have to do is pull up Elaine. So don't, just because you see him in the picture, just him, don't think that he possibly did anything. Woody Allen, also other people like Chris Tucker. There's a lot of names on the list. Now we're going to keep on moving forward. Just wanted you guys to see that because I was looking for that picture. I was like, what did they do? And also Ghislaine said something about when she met with him that day, she wanted to know about how to take off derogatory comments off of her then Twitter page. And guess what? He went and bought Twitter, made it X. What else did he take off of his page? Let's keep on going, y'all. I don't want to get in no beef with you, Elon, because you got that money, so I ain't messing with you. Now we got to get over to Ghislaine because now we got some Clinton information over here with Ghislaine Maxwell. We got some more video content over here. I want you guys to see this. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Well, reportedly filed over 100 complaints regarding.
Now this is about Ghislaine when she was in prison. Her filing reports and complaints about her conditions. She is no longer in a maximum security prison. This is 3 years ago. If you guys like to do the homework that I like to do, because there's so much little gems and jewels that I get out of content like this. I mean, you guys wanted to do the Maxwell and Epstein thing, so let's do it.
Prison conditions during her 22-month stay in solitary confinement at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Maxwell claims that while awaiting trial for felony sex trafficking, prison guards subjected her to countless painful and humiliating strip and body cavity searches and filmed her around the clock, even in the shower. In court, Maxwell has also alleged that her cellmate was offered money to strangle her in her sleep. Maxwell's lawyers claim the inmate boasted that an additional 20 years in prison would be worth the money she would receive for killing the disgraced Epstein associate.
Attorneys for Maxwell argue that the grueling conditions of her pretrial detention should qualify her for more lenient sentencing. Maxwell's legal team also pointed to her work for former President Bill Clinton's philanthropic initiatives as evidence she should receive a lighter punishment, alleging that helping launch the Clinton Global Initiative demonstrated she has a, quote, desire to do good in the world.
Look, you should maybe be a little more quiet about that while the Clinton hit squad is about I kid, of course.
Well, that's why she has 24-hour cameras on her. Look, I don't know what that argument is. If nothing else, it's a pretty solid troll. Look, as a leftist, I'm not going to sit here and celebrate bad prison conditions for anybody.
No,
and your sentence for being convicted of a crime, especially pretrial conditions, is a concern because there is the possibility that people are not actually found guilty of various crimes. So pretrial harms are serious. At the same time, I don't think that, these conditions justify her getting leniency. This seems like the kind of thing that lawyers are going to argue. It's almost
You do it for everybody.
their obligation to argue it. If anything, this should draw attention to the broader prison conditions that people who aren't famous and rich and have this kind of exposure have. Because again, when you are convicted of a crime, your sentence is time spent in jail, not rape or torture or any of the other indignities that people end up having to suffer in jail.
Right.
And another thing, it's not supposed to be pretty in jail. And everybody in the comments, you've probably said, if you ever said that you wanted somebody to do some jail time if you felt they deserved it, you wanted them to do hard time. You didn't want it to be rosy red for somebody that harmed children, especially a PDF file like her. What y'all got for me in these comments? I saw, she also has info to move Trump to keep her quiet. It's amazing the amount of mental gymnastic it takes to believe the things you say. So get up out of here, Zach, you fake Lego maniac, listening to people talk about fake news. If it's real, it's so effed up. Yeah, B Banco, I'm coming to get you too. So yeah, I got a little bit of fishing to do, you guys, when I go put this next clip up, because these people that's complaining in the comments, why don't you just kick a rock for a block? Get up out of here. You don't got to stay here. No one is holding you, and nobody cares for you to be here, especially if you don't want to be here. Get up out of here. How about that? Let's keep on moving forward. We're going over to New Orleans real quick, where this police officer is arrested for prostitution. Yes, I said it. Maleficent, what's what they call that word? Maleficence and recording champion. I'm normally good with words. What, malnificence, or what is that word they're trying to get me to say? But yeah, New Orleans, step to the front of the congregation, please. Let's go, because this officer, woo, look at your face. Let's go.
A shocking development in a murder case involving an alleged prostitute accused of drugging and killing a Kansas City reporter. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for watching. I'm Katie Moore.
She must be
Today,
giving it up for
veteran
free. She must be
New
giving it
Orleans
up for
police
free.
officer was booked on a string of charges. They're all based on evidence found on that accused killer's cell phone. Investigative reporter Mike Perlstein explains.
While investigating the drugging death of a Kansas City sports reporter and booking alleged prostitute Danette Colbert with his murder, detectives say they uncovered text messages in her cell phone from a man listed as TJ Popo. In this 8-page arrest warrant affidavit, state police say that TJ Popo is this man, 27-year veteran New Orleans police officer Terrence Johnson. And those text messages form the basis to book Johnson today on 2 counts of prostitution, 3 counts of malfeasance, and 2 counts of injuring public records. Marlon DeFillo, former commander of the NOPD's Public Integrity Bureau, said that if true, these allegations are nothing short of alarming.
For him to now we got to get on over to Memphis, because it ain't just going on over in NO. Watch out, this crap going on in Memphis. They need to really start vetting these police officers better than they doing now. Because, yeah, they really wilding out right now. Watch these 4 right here, what they did.
That breaking news tonight, 4 West Memphis police officers fired during an investigation into sexual misconduct. Good evening to you. I'm Joy Redmond. All 4 officers had already been suspended months ago. Jesus. Action News 5's Joyce Peterson live with the latest information from West Memphis PD and Mayor Marco McClendon's office. Joyce.
Yeah, Joy. West Memphis Police Chief Robin Campbell Jr., very brief statement telling Action News 5 tonight the firings come after 2 investigations. They did one internally, and then one was conducted by an independent third party. Of the 5 officers who were suspended last March, 4 have been terminated. Here are the West Memphis police officers terminated on Tuesday, August 12th. Major Stacy Allen, Captain Mose Walker, Officer Treasure Gaither, and Officer Blake Forthman. West Memphis Police Chief Robin Campbell Jr. telling Action News 5, the city of West Memphis has released 4 of the 5 officers previously placed on administrative leave during the ongoing misconduct investigation.
Misconduct, huh?
West Memphis officials won't say what the allegations of misconduct are, but the firings leave the city with 87 officers on the force now, protecting and serving 24,000 citizens.
Yeah, it's been like that in a lot of different places, and that's why the criminals are rampant. You're not really getting too much patrol, because when you only have a certain amount of police cars, well, police officers, you only have a certain amount of police cars. So let's say you got 40 police cars, 40 officers. That means that you got 20 cars you can man. If you guys are sending out doubles, if you guys are going out one at a time, then you can cover all of those cars. But here in the cities, they never go by themselves because they'll get trampled. So let's just keep on going, you guys. What we got going over here? Let's get to this. Let's get to this cancellation with your ex-President Biden. They said that ex-President Biden was actually canceling meetings because he wasn't able to walk upstairs. Let's go to this one real quick, y'all. Let's go.
Emails obtained by Fox News reveal that the Biden administration canceled plans to visit a ship because it would have required the former president simply to take too many steps. This was at an event, by the way, in Philadelphia back in 2023. Charlie Hurt joins me now. Great to see you, Charlie. Look, will these people ever be held accountable for sweeping this kind of thing under the rug? The more we hear, the more this conspiracy grows.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think it's the most important question right now. There are always risks trying to go after somebody who's no longer in politics, who's no longer a politician, his political career is over. And I get all of that. And I don't know, I do think it's important and I do want to know all of this stuff. But the thing to remember is that there were other people around Joe Biden at the time who still are part of politics and still aim to continue to be in politics, who hid the condition of Joe Biden and made lots of decisions on Joe Biden's behalf, even though they were never elected to anything. We don't even know all of their names, which is really appalling because that's really not the way democracy is supposed to work. And these people tell us all the time how much they care about democracy. So
who was running the country, y'all? That's what I'd like to know. Auto pen. Who was running the country, you guys? It seems like hopefully they get into that. But like he said, it's years afterward. There's nobody really to go after. But just knowing who those people are, I would really be interested in it. Let's get over to South Korea. That's right. We go everywhere. South Korea, where the former First Lady Kim Kong, he has been arrested over a bunch of charges. They're trying to say that she did a whole bunch of, embezzlement and stuff like that. But in these countries, whatever they say goes. So it's pretty hard to really know. So my Korean people, check this out. What's going on over here? We got the South Korean First Lady Kim Kyung-hee. She's been arrested after a raft of charges. I don't know what they're gonna do to you, Kim Kong, but yeah. She's been granted a warrant, says Kim posed as risk for destroying the evidence. They said this, the charges against her range from stock fraud, bribery, illegal influence peddling. Yeah, she looked like she's so nervous right there. Kim denied all the charges during the 4-hour court hearing. Look at her face. Woo! She is the country only ex-first ladies to be arrested. The first lady to be arrested. She joins her husband in jail. Yup sick. The ex-president was removed from office in April. He was arrested in July over his brief imposition on martial law in December. Yes, we go every single place. Like, yo, this fool just went to Korea. That's right, you guys. That's breaking news for some Korean people. You think they don't want to know what's going on in Korea? Double tap that screen and get those likes up, because we don't just stay here and do local news. We get news, views, and information from everywhere. Even if you guys tell me where you're from, I'm going to start going there hunting and seeing if I can find some content so that we can have some great dialogue. You can be like, wait a minute, that's right from where I'm at. And I love when that happens. That's why I ask you to let me know where you're from. Do your boy a favor, double tap that screen, get those likes up. Don't worry about any tips right now, because we do understand that your pockets might be touching, even though yesterday was payday. But we ain't gonna say nothing like Miss Jenkins. Don't say nothing about Miss Jenkins. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about in living color. Let's get those likes up. Go ahead and like and share and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Come on, we the #1 channel on YouTube from the 6 o'clock hour until we're done. Why? Because of those co-hosts right there and a little bit of what I do. We're going to keep on moving forward, you guys, because we got the situation that impacts the Brazilian tariffs on coffee. That's right. We're talking about money, 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 money. Coffee. That cup of Joe that you guys drink every morning, that Starbucks, those Dunkin' Donuts, you know, the special way that you like it made, that you're drinking right now possibly. Guess what, y'all? The price has gone up on Brazilian coffee, and it's not cheap, and not just in restaurants and in our coffee shops. A bag of coffee has now gone up like $4 per bag. So if you've been paying like $7 before, it's like $11 or $12 now. You guys, in the comments, I love this part because it gets us right to the bottom line facts. Do you see any increases in your coffee prices if you're a coffee drinker? We're going to go to one specific item. We're going to go to coffee. I want to know if you guys actually see increases in your coffee prices. This is a thumbs up if you do see the increases in the prices. If you do not see the increases in the prices, we're going to do thumbs down. Thumbs up if you see increases. Thumbs down if you do not see increases in your coffee prices if you drink coffee. Let's get over here because we're going to go out to Brazil first. And then we even got more content on this coffee because this coffee situation is pretty serious. People are not playing about this coffee.
Tonight, we're taking a closer look at President Trump's 50% tariff on Brazil and what that means for the cost of coffee.
Yeah, Brazil is the world's largest coffee exporter. So Marcelino Benito explains how that tax could hit American wallets.
At Boomtown, mornings just wouldn't be the same without that first cup.
It's how most people wake up in the morning.
The well-known Heights coffee shop
Here to go.
has been in business for 13 years. This year, VP of Operations Dean Borgerding watched coffee prices hit record highs due to extreme weather around the world.
We're only doing what we have to stay in business.
But now,
David,
the worst may still be brewing.
Nobody's happy with what Brazil is doing.
President Trump hit Brazil with a 50% tariff, the steepest against any nation. Not over trade, but to show support, Trump says, for former president and ally Jair Bolsonaro, now on trial for allegedly masterminding a 2022 coup to stay in power.
I believe it's a witch hunt.
Trump's politically charged tariff on the U.S.'s largest supplier of coffee.
This is about all the tariffs and everything.
Leaving small businesses like Boomtown.
It's a new line item on our invoices.
With a bitter aftertaste.
Uncertainty. I think that's kind of the word that we've been waking up and going to sleep with.
MSU food economist David Ortega calls it a gut punch to the coffee industry.
This is something to definitely pay attention to because it will mean higher coffee prices.
33.57, Serena, whenever you're ready. Whether it's just cents or dollars depends how long tariffs last.
Some of that's going to have to pass on to our guests.
You hear that, right? Some of that's going to, and he tried to say it in a light manner, but what do we have to do? They talked about that yesterday, about the prices. Once those tariffs hit, we have to deal with it at the register. So yes, now let's go locally with it, with the veggies. Now we got veggies. It's going down with our veggies to your boys like myself. And don't beat me up for this. Yes, I'm a vegan. But yeah, people like me gotta worry about stuff like this.
Attention shoppers, be on the lookout for veggieflation. New figures show the wholesale price of vegetables, the price supermarkets pay before the veggies make it to the produce aisle, skyrocketed in recent weeks, rising by nearly 39%.
Okay, I want to know about the veggies now, because y'all know we got to eat. Have your vegetables went up? I know mine's have, unless you live up by Dykeman with all the Spanish people. They be putting the fruit out and they get it real cheap. Telling you guys, y'all need to go over to Dykeman over there at 204. Got some good vegetables over there, only like $2. I'm telling you what you got to do.
Between June and July. That's the biggest jump since March 2022, and the biggest jump ever recorded during a summer month.
Yeah, tariffs are playing a huge impact, especially on the supply chain. But when you think about vegetables and other things that we see in grocery stores, it's not just coming from the U.S. When things are coming from other countries, the suppliers, the products involved, it's all having an impact.
The price spike in veggies was revealed in a monthly report called the Producer Price Index, or PPI, which tracks prices that businesses pay for products. It's different from the inflation report issued earlier this week that looked only at prices on products already in stores.
PPI is more of a forward indicator because that's really what businesses are actually paying. It takes time for the actual consumer to see it. So PPI being more of a canary in the coal mine.
Big retailers like Walmart and Target have indicated they'll try to absorb some of the costs associated with tariffs. But with price increases on new inventory, analysts say it's only a matter of time before consumers feel the pinch, not just in the produce aisle.
It was a matter of time till consumers are going to essentially pay the tariff, pay the tax. And now it's something from vegetables to other things that we see in grocery stores and even what we've seen in electronics, it's now going to start to come to the consumer.
He says consumers should expect higher prices after Labor Day. Also next month, the Federal Reserve is expected to lower interest rates due in part to the slowing job market.
Yep,
Attention.
So that's what's going on, you guys. I don't know if you guys are feeling this. I like the follow-up that we had on the coffee. I like the way that you guys were definitely in part of that. And yeah, I don't have no reason to lie. I am vegan. So I had to kick him out. I don't lie. I have no reason to. It's like you're going to jump through the screen and beat my butt. I don't do that. I'm telling you guys straight up and down. Not you, because you know me. I'm talking about these newfound people that try to come up in here, engage a person. We're not talking about the co-host and the real family that's up in here. What am I lying for? Have no reason to. And there's too many Dizan people to be lying to, number one. Number two, I'm a grown man. I don't have no reason to. And if you can't kick my butt, ain't no reason for me to be out here lying. And I'm not a criminal. So let's keep on moving forward. Talking about somebody lying, talking about I'm vegan. You know how long I've been vegan? Straight up and down. My mother was diabetic. She passed from renal failure. So because of that, I went vegan right before she passed. She was trying to force me to eat and tell me, you're losing weight. So don't play with me when it comes down to what I do with my body. So you can kick a rock for a block, and he already has. Don't know who it was, but they gone now. Now you can just watch the show in silence and not be able to leave any comments, or you can just go somewhere else. Keep on moving forward. Woman hands over $17,500 to alleged scammer who came to her home and basically, they basically conned her out this money right here, you guys. I always try to show you guys things like this, not to get conned, not to get caught, because even myself, I keep on getting those emails. I keep on getting those people saying, hey, we're from this company. We want to sponsor you. And then I go do my homework and they're like, dum, 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 dum. That's not us, and it ain't our email address. So you got to be really careful about what? Scammers. Because one thing about scammers is they're relentless, and it's not like once they get you one time, they're going to let you go. No, they keep their clutches in you, and they tell their scammer friends about you.
Skipping breakfast wasn't a big deal before.
I got you.
But now, Wendy's has Buck biscuits, like the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for a buck? Gotta be Wendy's.
Can I get my cut to this commercial?
A doorbell camera capturing the moment this Mebane woman says she handed over her savings of $17,500 in cash to a complete stranger.
Every morning I wake up and I'm like, I just want this nightmare to go away.
This woman, who asked us not to name her or show her face for fear of being a target again, but says she wants to share her heartache with hopes of preventing this scam from happening to someone else. It started when she was on her computer trying to log on to her bank account.
I put in my password and
Thank you,
username
Liberty.
and got to the website, but it wouldn't let me
Thank you,
open my
Casey.
accounts.
She grabbed her cell phone and says she went to the number saved in her cell phone for her bank.
She says, oh, your account's been frozen. And I said, why? And she said, well, there was a suspicious charge from PayPal from the day before. And I said, well, I didn't make that.
She says she was transferred to what she thought was a PayPal fraud department, but the call quality was so bad that she ended the call and called a Florida number back. It's not clear how she got that Florida number. On the line with them, she says she was told the charge was for $82 and they said they could refund her, but she had to follow their instructions, which included downloading several things on her computer.
I typed $82 and I immediately looked up to the screen and it says $18,000.
So let me tell you what they did. First, when they told her to download that information, they started mirroring her screen. I'm putting you guys on right now. Thank you so much, Liberty and Justice, for the $4.99 super chat to the best host around. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you always, Liberty and Justice. I want you to know what they did. When they just told you that they told her to download some information, they put a voice, they put that like a VoIP thing on her screen, where it was screen sharing, like a peer-to-peer. So now what she saw was what they put up on her screen to make her assume that they sent her too much money or whatever the case may be. Once they make you download that stuff, they basically have control of your screen. So what they do is they can show you fake bank statements. They can show you anything because they have control of your screen. And if you fall into this, you're going to get caught out there. This sucks. It's like a life savings right here.
And then it goes accept, 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 just like that. And I said to this man, I said, that's wrong. I said, that's not what I typed in. I said, that's a mistake.
At first glance, she says it looked like an extra $18,000 was deposited into her account. In reality, which she didn't know at the time, the scammer just transferred the money from her savings to checking.
What you have to do to fix it is you have to get cash, go to your bank and get cash.
Hesitant to follow his instructions, but she says this letter with a Bank of America logo came out of her printer, stating there's a serious matter concerning your account. An unresolved tax issue related to a personal transaction from PayPal. As a result, online account transfers are temporarily blocked by the IRS. The letter goes on to state, we have not notified your local branch. It's crucial you refrain from discussing this transaction with them. Doing so may lead to freezing or seizing all funds in your account.
So they basically alienated her, telling her not to deal with her own bank, not to do whatever, because they wanted to be the only one. So now they got the screen, and then they got you believing that they need that you need to deal with this. Yeah.
And withdrew $17,500. As she says, a man told her she could keep $500 for her troubles.
The bank manager came over and he said, before we proceed, he said, are you being harassed? And I'm like, no, I'm not being pressured. Because I didn't think I was. I didn't know I was being scammed.
She says she even signed a document saying she was taking this money out on her own free will. After getting the money, she continued to follow the caller's instructions, drove home. This letter, she says, printed from her printer, thanking her for returning the funds to PayPal, and a Mr. Jack has been assigned to collect the cash.
Wow.
Not long after her doorbell camera catches this man coming to her door to pick up the cash. She handed over the cash, thinking the ordeal is over, and called her daughters to tell them about her long day.
Before I could hardly get this story out of my mouth, I was like, Mom, you've been scammed.
At first, she thought she was the only victim until she saw this man's mugshot, Lingwei Zhang. She says it's the same guy that came to her door and she handed over her $17,500.
Wow.
Zhang is charged with obtaining property under false pretenses in her case, and he, along with another suspect, are also facing charges in Person, Durham, and Granville counties of obtaining property under false pretenses, accessing computers, and felony conspiracy. According to the Person County Sheriff, whose department was the first to make the arrest, the two suspects are living in this country without legal permission. The sheriff says they're currently working with the North Carolina SBI and the Department of Homeland Security to identify more victims and suspects. And while the total amount of money scammed is unknown at this time, he says it's close to $400,000.
It never occurred to me that that there was going to be an evil person come into my life.
The financial loss is devastating, as a large chunk of the money gone is money she says is from an insurance policy to pay her medical bills when she fought cancer last year.
What I want people to know is just because you're tired that day, don't let your defenses down.
So heartbreaking that she fell for the scam. Now, the suspects are still behind bars at the Person County Detention Center, and investigators say the Department of Homeland Security has detainers in place. When it comes to the victim's bank, Bank of America, a representative told me they're investigating the case and can't comment until their investigation is complete.
It ain't gonna work, baby. You're not gonna get the money. I heard about this many times. The problem with the banks is they don't care. They're gonna say that you signed that waiver, and they're also gonna say what? You handed over the money over your own free will. So yeah, sorry to say it. And I wish that we could do like a GoFundMe or something like that, but I can't even get $5 myself over here. So sorry, lady. But we're going to pray for you. We're going to hope that something happens for you positive in a fantastic situation. All of a sudden, somebody knocks on your door, or maybe a check will just pop up in your mailbox with the full balance. We just hope, and we're not supposed to do stuff like that, I know, but we're going to try to hope and pray that she gets some sort of resolve in this terrible situation. We ask that as well. Amen. Terrible situation for an elderly lady who doesn't seem as if she was at the right space at the right time. She had a daughter. She should have asked questions. She should have directly called her bank. Anytime somebody tells you not to do something, you have to look at that as a red flag, especially when it comes down to your money. You guys, if you have an elderly person in your family, maybe an aunt or maybe an uncle or something like that, y'all might want to holler at them and let them know, just to be extra careful. And when it comes down to scams and stuff like that, what to look out for. Now we got to get on over to Rocky. What's this? We're gonna go over to Rocky. No, we ain't dealing with Rocky. Let's go over to these thieves that use a sledgehammer to break into this Ontario jewelry store. That's a little more entertainment and information right there. I do feel bad for the people that lost their belongings in this terrible event over here, though. So as you can see, the cover, the frame, as they always try to put on some sort of garb. Come on, let's get to it. Let's move this up. Come on. There we go. Let's get it. Trying to break the camera first. Trying. And yes, they're talking in Spanish. So he's like, hell with Home Depot tomorrow. We getting in here. They bold with it too. They going back in. They bold with it. They are very bold with it. Brazen, right there on the spot. This is on the 13th, 2 days ago. And that's the cheap security you got. You couldn't put no bars on the gate, nothing. Where's the gate, the bars, nothing? Like, come on, for real? Hey, you know what, you guys? Sometimes when something is too good to be true, it might be. Sometimes I look at stuff like this and I'm always wondering what happens with it, who probably set this up, and then I look at the comments and you guys be like, inside job. I think so too. I don't know about you guys, but I think that was an inside job right there. But check this out. We're going to get to a good Samaritan right here. Last but not least, a good situation right here. We got this FedEx guy who did not realize he was being watched. This is a really good guy right here. And there should be more people like this in the world. As far as those guys prior, I really think that was possibly an inside job. Because why in the world would you do something like that and just like, not broad daylight, but with a sledgehammer, loud, brazen, and then it's so easy to get right in the front. Diamonds and jewelry could be an insurance possibility right here. Let's get into this FedEx worker who didn't realize he was being videotaped when he did what he did to this lady's dog.
In Colorado, Lisa Menzies and her husband were away while their home was undergoing some repairs. Their 3-year-old golden retriever, catcher had been left in trusted hands, but all it took was a gust of wind in a door not quite shut to send the curious pup on an unexpected adventure. By the time anyone noticed, Catcher was gone. A video from the home's Ring camera showed the happy retriever trotting across the grass before vanishing from view. The house was wide open. The dog was missing, and her owners were miles away. What happened next could have easily turned into a heartbreaking search, but somewhere along her wandering path, Catcher crossed the route of a FedEx delivery truck. The driver, on his regular rounds, could have looked the other way, but instead he stopped. He saw the collar, read the tag, noticed the open door. Then he did something that still amazes the family to this day. Without skipping a beat, he picked her up, carried her gently to the house, and delivered her not to the porch, but inside. Then he closed the door behind him and locked it. No box, no signature, just a living, breathing package safely returned home. Lisa later received a simple message letting her know what had happened. When she watched the security footage of the moment, she couldn't believe her eyes. The way the stranger handled Catcher, so careful, so calm, it looked like something out of a movie. In a world where people rush past problems, one delivery man hit pause. He didn't leave his name. He just returned a lost dog and gave one grateful family the happiest delivery of all.
Yeah, imagine you would have came home and your dog was gone, or that door would have still been open, or somebody would have broken your house because your door was wide open. Bad situation right there, but we're going to give a big shout out to that FedEx man right there. You see how he picked the dog up like it was a baby and walked it up to the door? He carried it like it was a package, right, y'all? And Catcher was there like this. All right, I know I'm in trouble. Just let me go back in the house. Don't tell my mom. All right, don't tell my, what do they call him? My human. Don't tell my human. Those are the videos I watch all the time, you guys. Anytime you want to have a good uplifting feeling, spirit, go check out the Dodo. I love the Dodo. I've been on that so much, they made me like an honorary member. They be letting me do whatever I want. And plus, I love animals so much. I don't care what kind of animal it is, except for reptiles and stuff. I don't know about y'all. Ugh. I'm like Ace Ventura when it comes down to the reptiles. Ugh, a bat. Ugh. One of my favorite movies, by the way. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and the second one, When Nature Calls, when Tommy Davidson was on that big man's back and he had to fight Jim Carrey. That was one of the most hilarious scenes I ever saw in the movie. But you guys, you know what? If you're trying to make some money, it's time to hit that link in the description, because I put at least about $500 worth of surveys in there where you can make some money and I can make some money too. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic Saturday. Get y'all some water, drink up, have a good day, enjoy the weekend. Don't get in no trouble. Don't live for the weekend, because you know what tomorrow is. It's Purple Sunday. It's Purple Sunday, y'all. It's Purple Sunday. It's Purple Sunday, y'all. Y'all also know what? I can't wait to meet you guys. If you ever gonna come to New York, come to Manhattan, to the 5 boroughs, maybe Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, or Queens, because we're about to turn up with another location in Bed-Stuy where you guys are going to be able to show your talent at the Show Your Talent talent search. That's the talent search where you show up in the borough that we tell you to, and you could possibly make, boom, $250 if you win at that borough, right? After we get everybody together, we're gonna have one location where everybody comes together at, and the last finalist will be able to make $1,000. Hosted by myself, BOOGOTTINYC, and the sponsor is Big Drip Hard Punch. You also saw myself with DJ Don Dada at the Throgs Next Door 2 weekends ago. Had a fantastic time. We're going to be replicating that. So if you guys come out, get to hang out with us, have a sip, must be 21 and older, and be a part of the Show Your Talent search, because I want to know what you guys got going on. We try to make it live if possible, but sometimes they play music inside of these locations, so we have to cut it off. But we're going to work that out when you deal with music. There's no way around it. Y'all know how that is. This is going to be your last chance to double tap that screen to get those likes up. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. Become a member. Double tap that bell down there so that you know when notifications is on. And guess what, y'all? Have a fantastic day. And remember this, problems present opportunities. It's always going to be problems out there for you. But guess what? As long as God gives us another day to get it right and fight again, we're going to do so. So you guys, you know what I'm going to tell y'all right now? Y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you, Batty Lynn, You, KC. You, Rebecca Lanya and Bueno. You think I ain't see you, baddie? Stop playing. Shout out to Detroit in the building. Kendra Walker from VA. Stop it. If you think you're gonna, that's my homegirl right there. Who else we got up in here? Michael. We got B Banco. That's right. Let's keep on moving, you guys. And with the fake news, whatever you're saying about yourself, don't try to throw me off, because we're the #1 channel on YouTube when it come down to doing what we do. Why? Not because of me, but because of us. Our bottom line, I can't wait till tomorrow, because we gonna get it, y'all. Purple Sunday, you better have a purple shirt, purple cup, or purple something. Even if it's a purple pen, you gotta have something purple in front of you or on the or in your vicinity when you watch the show tomorrow. And guess what? With that being said, it's time to stack that deck. I got to get ready for tomorrow's show. That's how we do it. We start as soon as we finish. We give it up and we leave it all on the field. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. With that being said, y'all could have went anyway. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with your boy Boogotti, I appreciate you. So until tomorrow, get him. Peace. One.